What up, what up, what up, good people? Happy Thursday. Thank you for tuning in. We had some scheduling issues, which is why we're here today instead of yesterday, but we thank you for tuning in. So I'm going to say hello. Hope everybody's been having a good week so far. One more day, y'all. One more day.
No doubt.
And it's the weekend. I'm excited about that. So, welcome to our show. Today, we are going to be talking about some topics that can be a bit graphic. So, I would say if you've got anybody under the age of 16, you might want to mute yourself or watch this later. We're going to be talking about buck breaking, the Savior Complex, Jim Crow 2.0, and what was the last one? There was another one. I can't remember. But yeah, so we're going to just go ahead and dive right in. I needed a drink for this week, y'all, so bear with me.
Well, I want to start by saying happy birthday to Gil Scott Heron.
Happy birthday. The revolution will not be televised.
Yep. Whitey on the moon. Dot did it, dot dash. I'm damned if I know.
Okay. So how was everybody's week so far? How was y'all week? I'm talking to my guests, my panel. How y'all doing?
Pretty good, consistent, not much different day to day.
I mean, it's been good. I can't complain. I've learned a lot this week, so that's made it a good week.
What you learn?
Well, I learned a lot about myself and kind of some of the things that I want. Yeah, awesome. Getting a little bit of clarity in my life.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's something that we all need. Clarity. Clarity. What's up, Jermaine? How you doing? Welcome.
What's up, Jermaine?
Oh, look at StreamYard and how they done changed it. Okay.
Hey, Nikki.
What's up?
Jermaine said he was reading what we were going to be talking about.
Uh-huh.
Said he's going to bring it today.
Oh, shit, Nick.
That's what I said. I told him we running a boxing one. You know what a boxing one is in basketball? Kyle?
Yeah.
Running a boxing one. So you, myself, and Nikki, we're gonna run a zone.
Okay.
Every time the main post something, Nikki gonna be. Elena got to be on him.
Okay.
Hey, I want to throw some things out there. I learned a lot about myself. I had to come to a master class on Saturday, right? The sister that actually, Michelle Wooten, who was actually on the show, when we first started doing the Letterology, she invited me to come to her class, and she does the vision boards and all of that good stuff. You know what I learned about myself?
What?
I ain't got no clarity sometimes when it comes down to what it is that I want. I could not articulate what it is that I want, in career and a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm good at helping people bring that out of themselves. But when it came down to me, I was like, I thought I was dude from Fat Albert. I'm gonna play basketball.
Mush mouth.
I felt like mush mouth, man. And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. But what I've learned from her class is that, I've been handcuffing the universe in terms of what it is that I want, right? I'm not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? And, by releasing some of the things, we were on a 4-hour masterclass on Saturday. And I would tell everyone, go to hers, because she did this exercise with this young lady, and the young lady was talking about going on vacation. And Michelle walked her through step by step. I actually thought I was there. That's how good it was. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Diana. Welcome to the show.
Dirty Diana. No.
Don't sing.
Oh.
You made her snort.
Yeah, like earlier.
First one of the day.
Hey, Kyle,
Oh gosh.
Kyle, do you know Mike and D's?
Here you go. I want to.
You do?
Good.
You all right? Hey.
Let's talk about it after buck breaking.
Oh, nah. There you go. Atlanta. I told you he was going to be different this week. While Lee is out of his cage.
Stop.
Look, but check it out. What I've learned is that, what I've been doing over the since Saturday is been removing limitations, not that you can limit the universe or you can limit God, but God ain't overriding people. Universe ain't overriding people, but I've been opening myself up and, I got a new client today. Some things opened up for me these last couple of days. And I'm like, I can't continue to buck break myself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I've been buck breaking myself. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
That was fun.
Don't laugh. Then Elena did.
I think she shook her head at you.
Me not laughing is like you not smoking a cigar.
Why you really? This is my vice, man. All right, let's jump into it, y'all.
Well, can we do something before we get into it?
Yes.
Thank you.
What?
Lena, that's you. Jermaine said something. You got to get on that. You got to be on. I'm
playing. I don't see it. Wait, am I missing it?
Good one.
She just said a good one. I
know. Look. Anyway, what I was, we were talking today, and I meant to stop by the candy store. I think Diana was the first one on. Diana, do you have a Black Spasm button? If not, we need to send her too because she was the first one on.
No, Jermaine was the first one on.
Well, Jermaine, that's my boy. I think Jermaine has something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Oh, you mean somebody outside of Jermaine? Okay, got it.
But we were talking about. I was talking about candy today, the Hershey's Kiss.
Okay.
Is that you, Yoda? Okay.
Baby Yoda. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And for those who don't, can anyone tell us what is the little paper wrapper or little flag that's on the top of the Hershey's Kiss? Whoever is the first one, we can send them some buttons as well. We already know the answer.
Oh, okay, sorry. So yes, for those that are watching, the first person to answer what the little white paper is that comes out. Okay.
Niggly Wiggly. See?
Deshaun got it.
That's why I hang with you, man.
So Deshaun, what is a Niggly Wiggly? I mean,
basically, my question.
What is it? What's a Niggly Wiggly? It sounds racist to me, but whatever. Sound like it stems from slavery, since everything stems from slavery, right?
Yeah, Tides stems from slavery. I'm not buying Tide no more. Mm-hmm. You?
I don't use it anyway.
I got some now. I got the pods in there. I get rid of them.
You want
a statement and want to cancel them.
Is that going to be the segue into the Savior complex?
No, we should start working on companies we can use. That list will be very short.
Right. Do we want to do that? Do we want to
No, it's on you. No, we're not. You say lost connection. No,
we should research that, and that would have to be a show.
What the
contributions
in our community.
Oh, that. No, I was talking about Tide because of what I sent y'all. Because I have that's part of the Savior complex part of the show.
Yeah, let's wait till we get a few more folks in there. Then we ain't got to replay it again.
Okay. Yeah. So we want to start with buck breaking now. I know it's heavy. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Even before we go into it, do you think the Black community and the white community's view on homosexuality is because of the differences is because of buck breaking? Like, if some communities have been known to be vehemently against it, and people have to really suppress it. Of course, it wasn't wasn't always this way, but do you think that in that regard?
It's an interesting point, Kyle. I was doing a little bit of reading, and one of the things that I did read is that one of the reasons why homosexuality is there's such a negative view of homosexuality in Jamaica is directly linked to buck breaking and the people's rebellion against it.
I'm going to use that as a segue because that's perfect for this clip that I've got. So I want you guys to, what is buck breaking? I know most people don't. I'm get ready to answer that, Jermaine. So here we go. We're going to watch this short video.
And controlling the people.
You had a ship full of African men, women, and children who were at the mercy of the captain and all the sailors on that crew. And those men could have sex with anybody they wanted to. The women, the children, and the men.
You had to see 3 months tied down with these white men. There ain't no women there for the most part. When they start bringing women, they weren't even bringing women. They were bringing girls between the ages of 6 and 15 and raping them all. But they also were raping the men. Same things that are happening on the plantation to demasculinize the black man.
Control the slave population is to rape a father in front of his sons, or to take the biggest, baddest black man on the plantation and do something horrible to him to completely humiliate and emasculate him so that people won't respect him anymore. And that still happens to this day.
In the Caribbean, they had seasoning plantations, which were plantations used to break the slaves. And one plantation or one place that had a lot of seasoning plantations was Jamaica. And people have to wonder, what were they doing on these seasoning plantations that was worse than what was happening on the regular plantations? Well, one thing that they were doing on these plantations, especially in Jamaica, they were doing a process called buck breaking, where the white supremacist slave owner or the white supremacist overseer would literally rape black men in front of the whole black population in order to break his spirit, in order to break him down as a man, in order to show dominance against him, in order to show the rest of the black population that this is not your leader. I just made your leader submit to me sexually. And this happened a lot in Jamaica. This is why homosexuality is so looked down upon in Jamaican culture today.
And it was a way primarily of cutting down those who would rebel. In other words, it was a matter of power and control and domination. And they would call it buck busting, but it was really butt busting.
Slavery continued until 1865 for about 2 generations, right? So how do you reconcile that? You can no longer bring in Africans, but you still have the business of slavery. So they still needed Africans to do the work down south, especially after the cotton gin was invented. So you had the creation of breeding farms. 2 of the largest slave breeding farms in the United States were on the eastern shore of Maryland and right outside of Richmond, Virginia. They literally bred black people like cattle. They would have a strong black man have sex with a healthy black woman. That woman could be his mother, his sister, his aunt, his cousin. It didn't matter, because the end product was produce a child that I can sell, bodies that I can sell and ship down to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. It was a business.
We had breeding farms in the United States, that would put one person from one plantation against another. We even had a system where if you were a breeder, male on one plantation, and a female on another plantation, or even on the same plantation, even if you were mother and son, they would mate you. And so I tell a lot of my patients and a lot of my friends, you got to stop using the MF word, because that was a description of what actually happened when the paper bag would go over the head to put one breeder against another when they were related.
So, buck breaking, it's going to be, it's a movie coming out on April 30th of this year. You can go to the website, buckbreakingmovie.com, and watch the trailer. But yeah, that was heavy. But it still goes on in war crimes today. It's still happening. And I had heard that before about using the MF word. I'd heard that years ago. And that's probably one word I try not to use too often, because it makes me think of that.
So there was a years ago there was a saying, and I won't be graphic. It says, "MF I may be, but the mother I F don't belong to me."
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And just watching that, where they had bags over their eyes and they were mating with their mothers or their sisters. It's kind of like when they're breeding dogs and they're having a male dog mate with his mother.
And I mean, for people to truly understand our history, when people say, "Oh, slavery was so many years ago, you need to get over it," this is what our ancestors went. There is no getting over that, And I had, so today I was thinking, I was like, okay, so white folks went over to Africa, Jamaica, wherever, to grab us and bring us here, to keep us enslaved. Then after that, this country was like, well, we can't treat, humans like that, so we need to abolish slavery, this, that, and the other. So they figured out a different noose to hang around our neck. So instead of the actual noose, then Jim Crow came about. So then they made it damn near impossible for us to vote, to work, to get jobs, to get educated. You can't eat here, you can't sleep here. And then more laws came, and it was like, well, we still can't treat them like that. So I feel like the noose for Blacks constantly changes, but it's still a noose around our necks. And then they want to play the victim. Now it's, oh, I'm scared of Blacks. So shooting us becomes the new noose. And it's like, they've treated us like dirt for so many years, and now all of a sudden they claim that they're afraid of us. You're afraid of the people who you've had your knee on our necks for centuries, and now all of a sudden you're afraid of us?
I mean, it's the connotation of everything. So what is only being in the Black is good, but other than that, Black connotates everything that is, evil and dark and unknown, which causes fear, anxiety, and everything that goes along with it. So our skin carries that connotation of the black cat walking across the street, or the wicked witch in the all black, not the maid going up to the altar. Black doesn't signify that type of elegance, and maybe, you know, after 8, but not in the connotation of life. So everything, you're supposed to be afraid of the dark, and you try to help kids not be afraid of the dark. And so with all of that, we carry that along with slavery, with all those things, and then the images of us and how we're shown when something happens, whether the kid was, you know, walking down the street and attacked or shot by a police officer. The picture of him may not be, you know, him in his graduation from college, high school, or whatever. It may be a picture of him doing something, you know, fun or whatever to him, but may not be translated into what type of kid he really was. You know, you don't have him on the basketball court. You don't have him in a suit and tie. So everything is pointed at our hue being negative, and our lives are perpetuated in that way.
Deshaun, I agree with you. When I say afraid, and I should have articulated that better. That's what I meant by them being afraid of us, finding power, finding our voice, and actually holding them accountable for all of all the things that they have done to us. Elena, you over there screaming. What's on your mind?
I want to kind of go backwards because I feel like we kind of went. I know the video was uncomfortable, but I think we got to sit in that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And like the reality and the intention of buck breaking historically and what that looks like now, how Black men continue to be emasculated, how Black women are sometimes parties in that emasculation. But first thing that
expound,
I've got a lot of thoughts, but the first thing that comes to mind for me, all of the pictures that you saw that depicted the buck breaking, you also saw those white people with whips in their hands. So I think it's important to note that they would whip those Black men literally within an inch of their lives, to the point of being unconscious, so that they were defenseless before they would then sodomize them. And I think it's a note to the type of assault that we withstand today. A lot of times we are constantly assaulted, and we miss what's coming on the end because of the barrage of blows that we're taking. You know, sometimes the heat that we're taking is not about what's presently happened, it's about the end goal. So that really stood out to me, because I can't imagine if like a Black man would not just take it. Like he had to be literally beaten beyond the ability of his to have faculties or agency to move, to respond, to even be able to take something like that. So I think the same is true for us. We are assaulted mentally, emotionally, and sometimes we get sidetracked by what we currently feel, and we miss that there's something coming on the end.
Could you expound by how you think Black men are emasculated? I know in media we are, putting on the dress is a simple one, but
that ain't simple, bro. That is
no. I mean, it's a very obvious one, I guess, more to say. But what do you think are the ways that we are?
I mean, there are a lot of ways. I think that's one. Two, the intentional removal of the Black man from the home, from the family, is a means of emasculation. The over emphasis on Black femininity and Black feminism is also a part of that emasculation. Like even some of the language that's used, you know, there's all this conversation about toxic masculinity. Well, all masculinity isn't toxic. Black masculinity will always be toxic to white men because they fear it. But just these ideas that Black masculinity is not something to be desired or something that is something that should be the norm. I mean, I could keep talking about this. Do you want some more?
No,
Are you asking to see if the idea is justified or?
Not at all. I was just wondering how you thought. I have my own thoughts on how we are emasculated. So I was just wondering when you brought that up. I wanted some points that I may have missed or not even seen. So that was perfect. Thank you.
I mean, what are your thoughts, Kyle? Since you asked me, I'm gonna throw that ball right back at you.
Oh, I mean, emasculation. So you brought the point of removal from the house. So to get Section 8 as a single mother, you can't have a man present to get that finance. That is, especially if the man is there, they're having problems and he's not working, that almost removes him from the house altogether in that. And I don't even know what part of our population that group falls into, like what percentage of people that we're talking about, but that is devastating in that regard. And then we are removed off the planet into prisons at double the rate of most races. So then not having your freedom, being emasculated. You said there's a way that, well, I guess if you look at the Black female being a double minority, Black female being educated twice the rate that Black men are, and making more. So going into a relationship, a lot of times a woman is making more than a Black man if you're talking Black on Black. And
that is so by design.
Right. So, there's a lot of different aspects that I see, and it's, you have to break through them. And I think that there needs to be, every Black man needs a quorum of Black men to talk out their problems and to be able to bounce, what their ideas are and solving the problems off of like men that are doing, like work, and just a council of guys to go to.
If I may, in the segment, they didn't say her sister's name. I think she was a psychologist, and she was basically saying this is why she tells her clients not to use the term MF. If there was a lot of inbreeding going on, and we know scientific research basically states what happens with inbreeding. If there was a lot of inbreeding going on, mothers and their sons, could you imagine the long-term effect that has on us to this day? Because we're not that far removed from slavery or enslavement. But it tells you, don't mate with relatives. So you start toying with our DNA. We look at Black people, we'll say Black people fucked up. I'm saying, why would a Black person want to walk down the street, showing their underwear? Why do we buy Air Jordans in the hood? Why? Why are we doing all these things? If you go back, because that resonated with me. Because put yourself in those shoes. And there was a movie that Samuel Jackson did. I can't think of the name. And it was a dirty trick that they played on Samuel Jackson, trying to get back with him when they introduced him to this beautiful young girl. They fell in love, was having sex in the whole night. They revealed to him that was his daughter the whole time. Me watching that as a spectator, I cringed. I can't watch no more. So I think Nikki, you said earlier, with all of the things that has happened to us, and the first thing that they say is get over it. you can't get over something that's in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't. It's impossible. If you live with something every day, how do you get over? It's not like it's a hurdle that you can jump over, and then when it's time for the next event, the crew's already come after you jumped over it and took the hurdle away. You know, you can't get over stuff like that. You can't even get through stuff. You gotta go. You gotta process that every single day. And I'm pretty sure that they just wasn't one and done with them forcing them to have sex with their mothers.
Oh no, I mean they were breeding farms. You know, if you were what they considered a mandingo man, and you know, a woman that was healthy, then you were prime candidates, you know, to be forced to, you know, have sex to breed.
I think you know, one of the ways that black women have contributed to the situation is we have allowed ourselves to be manipulated into believing that we don't need black men. You know, I can do it. And look, Kyle said it categorically. Black women are more educated than black men. They make more money than black men. But you know, you got with black feminism, you got all these women who are like, I don't need a man. I can do all of this by myself. And then when you have generations of black families where the black male is not present, then what happens to the black boys that are growing up in homes where they're only mothers?
Right.
Like, and so if you taking it back to like slavery, if you're a woman you and your son were forced to watch your husband being raped, then that puts you in a position where you want to coddle and protect your son from ever being in a situation like that. My mom says something all the time. She said, Black mothers, they raise their daughters, but they love their sons.
Yep.
And then so Black men are further put at a disadvantage because they're not surrounded by enough Black men to show them what being a Black man really is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've heard that. I've heard that too. Hey, Allison.
What's up, Allison?
Hi, Allison.
Black Snake Moan. That was the movie.
No, there's another one.
That was she was chained to the girl that was chained to the radiator.
No, this is but I know that one. But you know, let's go present day, right? I know women who father violated. Okay.
I'm sorry, say that again. You kind of went in and out.
I know who've had their fathers violated.
You said what?
Their father violated them?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get an understanding where that came from. Right? Where that came from. Did that come from something that's in the DNA? Was it a learned behavior that after what happened to our ancestors, some of them took on that same energy? Because I don't understand why anyone would actually want to violate their own kids.
Well, I guess my thing was this in watching the video. One of the first things that I thought about was that the slave masters, did they have to be gay to do that? Because I don't know of any straight man that would have that much hate and anger towards another man that he would actually rape him.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be gay to work up, to be aroused enough to do it. So, You can't.
I didn't even think about that part. I don't know how, but
that's So to sodomize them, there has to be some arousal there. So unless you get the arousal off the attack, but you still have to be, bisexual, homosexual to, buck break.
But let's go back to the question that Nikki just asked. Nikki said, did you have to be gay, right? So I'm looking at when was the term gay introduced to society? The term was originally used to mean carefree, cheerful, or bright and showy.
Right.
The term used as a reference to male homosexuality may date as early as the late 19th century, but its use gradually increased in the mid 20th century, right? So I don't think it was about gay, yes.
Finish. I wanna respond to what you just said. Go ahead though.
But more homosexual, because to me, gay is happy, cheerful.
Well, that's homosexual. That's what I meant by gay.
And that's what I said.
But everybody, see, a lot of people use they use the word homosexual and gay like it's interchangeable. But as I think Kyle was saying, or you said, Nikki, did you have to be? I don't even think that was even something they were thinking about. I mean, if you are on the point, or if you are if you're enslaving people, and you're beating people, and you're doing everything that you possibly could to these people, do you really have a conscience? So if you're talking about getting aroused, what does arousal have to do with anything? That's you're acting as an animal and a beast in human form.
Well, I'm not a man, so my thing would be, and it's kind of, I guess, what Diana just said. It's the same when one rapes a person nowadays. As a man, I don't have a penis, so if you're, I guess my thing is how does it get hard? Most time when you think of a penis getting hard, you think there's, like Kyle said, some type of attraction so that the blood would flow and the penis would get hard. So I guess I'm just not, I don't know. Go ahead, Elena, because I know you've been interested in it.
Deshaun's in the medical field. I'm pretty sure he can answer that question.
Go ahead,
what?
Huh?
Deshaun is what?
He's in the medical field. I'm pretty sure he can answer that question in terms of, how do you maintain an erection, during that time?
I actually do think that white men enjoy, many of them, sexual acts with other men. And this was an opportunity for them to live out those desires. One of the books that I was taking a second look at recently is called The Iceman Inheritance by Michael Bradley. And the book basically talks about the evolution of the Caucasoid or the white man. And there are like two things that stand out in this book that kind of speak to the desire of white men to want to buck break. First, they are just maladaptive sexually in so many ways. They unduly or unnecessarily repress themselves. They already feel sexually inferior. And because they as a people are marked by aggression, their sexual relationships are also often marked by aggression. When it comes to male-female relationships, the Caucasoid people were the only ancient or evolving people around that time that showed a level of aggression towards women. When you look in their cave paintings, like they would mar and mark the bodies of women, especially pregnant women. So there's this like serious aggression toward women, whereas other communities, like to the point of feeling that women were actually another species. So it makes sense that it would make sense in their minds that they would make or engage in sexual activity with one another because they saw women as other, which is not true in African civilizations. African peoples didn't have those types of issues in women and men relationships. So I think sexually they already have a propensity to perversion. And I'm not calling homosexuality perversion. I'm just talking about misuse, the addition of aggression in the sexual act, all of that, the way that they see women. So I think that lends itself to this story. Recently, I don't remember the lady's name, but she wrote the book like Understanding the Black Woman or the Black Man or something like that. Yes. And one of the things that she said that Black women have taken on the issues of white women because Black men never treated us the way white men treated white women. They're basically, before white men were whipping Black people, hanging Black people, flagellating Black people, white men were doing that to white women. So I think that as a people, and I'm not judging any white people. I'm not saying this is you. Don't take it that way. But the makeup and the shared psychology is one of a completely maladaptive sexuality, which makes it make sense.
Okay. There was something that Jermaine said. There are women who get aroused when getting raped. The act, and the feeling are not inclusive of each other. Let me get this off. The body naturally responds to that because sorry, y'all, this is bringing up some stuff. I am a sexual I'm a sexual assault survivor, so your body, and some women get upset because they actually climax during it, and they feel like, how can I do that when I didn't want this? It's a natural reaction from the body, and I had to learn this through therapy, through my doctor. So I don't want anyone who's been attacked, if that happened to them, I don't want them to think that they were asking for it. It's something that your body just naturally does. That's just, So, and there have been men who have been raped and they got an erection. It's a natural response from the body. So I want people to, to understand that. And I didn't mean to get emotional. But
Sharon.
So yeah.
Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, Oprah Winfrey went through that. From my understanding, she was raped by her uncle. But she also stated that she enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't know any better at the time. And that's what happened. And, and I can't speak as a person who's gone through that, right? But from my understanding, the limited understanding that I have concerning this is that a lot of times you don't know it's wrong until after the person stops doing it, and then you start taking it upon yourself, like, did I do anything wrong? But when you've been introduced to that at an early age, and that's the norm, it's kind of like when boys kiss their mother, you know what I mean? You may, kiss their mother on the cheek, or all of a sudden as they get older, someone says, stop kissing your mother. You know, so now, you know, you mean I've been doing this wrong the whole time? No. So I was watching Law and Order, and Olivia Benson was having a conversation with the rape victim. And she was saying, well, yeah, you know, I had an orgasm. I must enjoy it. I must have liked it. And she was like, you never asked. You didn't ask to get raped. You know? And Elena, you were reading earlier, and you were saying that they were, you know, these men, white men that was doing that, was they looked at other races or women as others. You know, that goes back to the cognitive dissonance. You know, the guy who wrote the song "Amazing Grace." You know, how sweet the sound to save a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, blind, but now I see. He wrote that after engaging in, as they say, sexual congress with our ancestors, but they weren't looked upon as being human.
I don't know if psychobabble made any sense, but I did want to point out something Darius Smith said. He said that the act goes all the way back to ancient Greece, and structure living of civilization standards and practices. And I think that kind of summed up what I was trying to say. For our people, it just wasn't a way of life for us. It was a Caucasoid. It was something that Caucasoid people introduced to us.
Thank you, Allison, for that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's organic, right? Yeah, Black Spasms is about healing.
So, in this vein of the breeding, I remember growing up in the 70s, and I guess not even asking my mother, but maybe talking to her about why we speak to people we don't know when we're out. And so me and my mother are out, we see another Black woman and her child, and we would speak. And she would always say, you don't know who your relatives are. We are all brother and sister here, even though we're not related. And to the breeding grounds, slavery in itself being people being sold one way or another, we've lost I guess in this capitalistic every man for themselves self society, we've lost that. You know, we all four could be related instead of the two of us that we know about.
You're right, Jermaine. Jermaine says, those who create and perform buck breaking know the impact it has mentally and spiritually. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, when someone forces themselves, you know, on you and inside of you, it does something to you, mentally and spiritually. I know for me, and I didn't tell anybody about mine for years. I literally kept that inside for years. And I didn't realize how much it was affecting my everyday, you know, because after a few years, you know, put it in the vault and keep on going. But it's gonna come out. It comes out. It manifests itself in different ways. And until I actually got help for it, it helped me understand myself better once I got help for it. It helped me understand why I did this or why I did that or why I reacted this way or why I reacted that way. And it's not something that you ever get over. It's something that you learn to live with. You know, people say you should get over it. I hate that expression. That is something that you learn to live with because you never get over it. just like I said, you learn to deal with it. You learn to not be afraid. You learn to not allow it to run, control your life. At least for me, because I got help for it. So if anyone out there has ever been a victim of it and you haven't gotten help, I would highly and strongly suggest that you do get professional help. Like Elena and Les were saying, how they learned a lot about themselves this week. I'm still learning a lot about me. And there are times, when it's time for me to call up my therapist, because I might see something or hear something, and it'll trigger a particular emotion, and it might be too much for me at that time. And I know we've talked about therapy and how it's considered taboo in the Black community, but depending on what you've gone through in your life, it's something that you need. I know for me, my therapist knows all about it, and she knows when I call that it's time, and she's like, okay, let's talk, and I just thank God for therapists. I really do. I thank God for psychology and understanding the brain and all of that, because as a regular Joe who didn't go to school for that, I just thank God for those who did go. And I'm just grateful that someone decided to study the brain, because it's amazing how in talking to her, she can break it down for me and it makes perfect sense. And I'm able, to deal with it. And you're right, Ms. Thomas, trauma therapy is needed in our community, definitely 100%, because we have trauma. We have trauma just from our ancestors, and it just keeps, it's generational sometimes.
Hey, Nikki.
Yes.
So would you consider that PTSD?
In the beginning, yes. Now, I guess I don't know enough about PTSD to answer that. 'Cause I guess it could be a form of it. But with the right help, it's manageable. Like I said, you never get over it. You just learn to deal with it. So I guess it would be, yeah.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but your triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so if something doesn't seem right, is there something that clicks in the brain? If you're watching something on TV, or you may go somewhere, sound or color or scent.
Because mine happened in October. October is a very rough month for me. The changing of the leaves, though I think they're beautiful, was a part of my assault. So for a long time, I didn't like the fall. Sorry, y'all. So it took a while to like fall again. It took a while to like the changing of the leaves. So thank you, Ms. Thomas. Who's your question? I'm sorry, Les. My brain is kind of all over the place.
And the reason why I said it, because I go through seasonal depression myself, right? My seasonal depression is, compared to what you're talking about, is minuscule, and I guess, you know, when you start, when we really, we're dealing with topics that are affecting us. And it's all started with buck breaking and the effects that it's had on the black race, right? And it's like when the bullet is dispersed and it scatters all over the place, it's doing damage all over the place. I don't know if it's the buckshot, and it's, you know, it's affecting so much. It's not one straight bullet hitting one target, you know. And when I think about my little silly seasonal depression compared to how that act has altered 1 month out of the year for me, you know, 31 days, you know.
I will say that my girl Diana, who's watching, she helped me. She doesn't know this, but she helps me because Halloween is one of her favorite holidays. So we used to always do haunted houses and stuff like that, and that helped me tremendously because it took my mind off of that. So I enjoy, and I would just delve into, okay, let's do this, let's do that. There's another thing in my relationships. A trigger was being held down. I couldn't stand having my hands restrained because that was part of my assault, and I would like literally freak out if, you know, I was with a man, and not that he was being rough, but, you know, sometimes, you know, during intercourse, you know, you restrain the hands, and for a long time I couldn't have that done because it would literally, that was a huge trigger, and it would just take me right back to the assault. So I couldn't deal with that. So any type of restraint was a big problem for me. And I needed a lot of therapy, you know, for that, because my therapist had to let me know that I was in a safe space. And so she suggested that I talk, you know, with my mate, whoever I was with, that if that trigger happens, to have them talk to me and tell me that I'm safe, I'm in a safe space, I'm not there. And by them doing that, it helped me to slowly overcome that, you know, that trigger.
I just want to say thank you so much for sharing. I know that Teresa's note to breathe was probably intended for you, but I needed to take a cue from that as well, because I feel like I'm holding my breath over here, even though you talk. I've heard you say that you're going through therapy and you're not where you used to be. Like the pain is still so very palpable, and I know that I'm not the only one who can feel it right now. And I think what's racing through my mind is, what does it mean for millions of people who have collectively experienced this type of trauma for hundreds of years? You know, what does that, to magnify what I feel in this one moment, it makes sense why we are where we are. You know, sometimes just the fact that we are alive and we're still here is just a testament to the resilience of people of color.
I will also share that when my assault happened, I was 13. Actually, I've been the victim of 2 sexual assaults in my life. The other one happened when I was an adult. But the one when I was 13 was that's the one that I kept inside for a long time. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anybody. Actually, I told one person. He was my big brother at the time. And there's a lot that I don't remember because I was beat during that. So, whew, there's a lot that I don't remember. Like I don't remember how I got to his house. Um, so, yeah, D, it's a very impressionable age. There's a lot going on, you know, when you're 13. You know, you're going through puberty, you're going through so much, you know, your hormones are all over the place and everything. So I didn't seek counseling until, let's see, my daughter was born in 99. This had to be 97, 98 that I sought counseling. So I kept it inside, you know, for all of those years. But it like I said, you can bury it all you want, but it has a way of coming out. And I started having dreams about it. I would literally wake up with bruises all over my body, because that's what I look like after the fact. But it started manifesting itself physically. I would wake up, I'd have like handprints and stuff all over me and stuff. And it was like, I need to get help. I need to get help.
Can I jump in right quick?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was writing Black Spasms, you know, I was trying to write 100 miles an hour because the thoughts were coming to me. So when I asked you earlier, you know, was that PTSD that you're dealing with? And I think one of the earlier shows that you talked about, like unpacking our luggage, you know, jump into another relationship, you're coming off of a trip, unpack, wash, refold, put it back up. Because if not, then whatever you're going through, you have gone through, you will revisit that on someone else, right? So I'm going to read something right quick that I wrote about chapter 12. It's called Post-Traumatic Black Spasm Disorder. I need to meet her. A post-traumatic Black spasm disorder is the effect the spasm leaves on the consciousness of Black people long after the act has occurred. Black people are consciously walking around displaying behaviors of PTBSD and unaware of the state of consciousness, right? And this is when I'm thinking about you now. Oftentimes, spasms are too painful to confront and must be dealt with over a period of time, right? I'm not advocating that time be the determining factor for healing the PTBSD, but oftentimes the recipient of the spasm or spasm is completely unaware of the side effects, and therefore a timely approach is necessary and must be handled patiently. The downside of allowing time to be the determining factor when addressing the behavior is the longer you wait to treat the spasm or spasms, the harder it will be for them to overcome. The majority of Black spasms must be handled appropriately and swiftly, not to give allowance to the perpetrators to attempt to inflict another spasm on you.
But the time thing, depending on the spasm, you got to do it when you're ready, you know. And for me, it literally, you know, was years. I don't know if, because I didn't tell anybody, I don't know if, you know, how I would have handled that if I'd have gotten, you know, the help like right away. Because I didn't understand it myself because I was so young.
Right. And
so,
I mean, that's a part of it because of the age, because of the consciousness and how it altered your consciousness. You know, let me read this last part, and I'm glad you brought that up because I skipped this. It says, when dealing with a post-traumatic Black spasm disorder, the quality of speed is not as damaging as the quantity of time. A conscious people will not wait for the one who has caused the spasm to right what has been wrong. A conscious people will take a proactive position and heal him or herself. Take into account that an apology without reparations is nothing. And in this case, and only in this case, you cannot make something out of nothing. In your situation, of course, you couldn't deal with that based on your altered state of consciousness. So this is not advocating that, you know, you have to deal with it swiftly. You know, the need to protect each other, you know, and this is just not Black people, this is people, period. You know, I'm thinking about my 9-year-old daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about the perpetrators that are walking around here, you know, who are mentally, you know, challenged or in terms of doing things of this nature. You know, so the thing about it is the longer it took for you to be able, not deal with it, but to be able to deal with it. Two different things, right? The more adverse effect that it was having on you in your relationships, how you viewed yourself. So now it's like once you start dealing with it, it's like you got an uphill battle you got to do, you know, because someone decided that they wanted to act out that BS on you. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I commend you for and applaud you for being a catalyst for opening up, or as Jermaine would say, and I you know, I appreciate this. You just activated something in other people. You know, if not on this show, but people who may listen to it at a later time, that, you know, these things were taking place like it was common practice all the time. You know?
Jermaine says, when y'all get a sec, let's stop, step back, and take a couple deep breaths. This subject matter is not easy. Diana said, many of us hold on to these things because we don't feel anyone can handle / deal with it, or they may put the blame on the actual victim. That happened to me, G. This is why I've held on to mine, especially when we were young. Ms. Thomas says, please. And opening the blockage is very hard. Thanks, Darius. So she says hugs.
It's thank you, Diana. I actually I can't say that that's my story, to be honest with you. That hasn't been my trauma. I've had my own traumas. That's, you know, that's not me. But I am an empath, and I'm not quite sure who I'm feeling. But you, whoever you are, it feels like you're not at the place that Nikki's at right now. And if you never sought help, if you've never gone to counseling, like, you can't keep trying to handle this on your own. So yeah, I don't know who that was for, but what I just experienced, that wasn't about me. So whoever's out there, you know, it's a blessing that Nikki was able to share. But I'm hopeful that it pushes you toward moving towards your own healing.
I will tell y'all that Gabrielle Union gave me strength. Listening to her story and you know, being able to share. For a long time, I felt ashamed of sharing, but I realized that through sharing, you actually help people. So if I could help anybody today,
you already did.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Just
You gene someone today.
I did. So it's just and it's been. I mean, I used to be able to talk about my assault and not cry. I don't know what happened today, but today it's just you know, like I said, you learn to live with it, and you know, sometimes it and looking back on it, today it triggers something in me. So like I said, when we started this is organic, y'all. So you liable to see tears, laughter,
middle fingers, everything. You know what I'm saying?
all that, you know. So Dee says that was a good share of your written word, Les. and you helped yourself, so you helped us. Oh, yes, I remember that. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. So yeah, that's therapy is
the shit.
not crazy folks.
Therapy
It doesn't mean that you're crazy. Like I said, a therapist is a specialist, and when you have, when something's wrong with a particular part of your body, they got a specialist for it, and your mind is part of your body. So you just, you need help with it. Sometimes you need help in understanding and unpacking all of that. It can be a lot, and I always say when you get into therapy, go into it with an open mind, and definitely find a therapist that you have some type of rapport with. I had gone through several therapists before I found the one who I'm comfortable with. And that's very, you have to have some type of rapport with your therapist. So I would definitely offer that bit of advice. So, okay, enough about butt breaking, y'all, because my brain can't handle no more. So Elena had talked about well, I'm just gonna show this commercial, and then we'll hop into it. So, here we go.
Our kids aren't so great at hiding.
Gee, I wonder where the kids are. But we found out their clothes hide a lot.
Turns out we can't even see 70% of the dirt that's trapped in their clothes.
Which concerned us, especially with their sensitive skin.
That's why we always look for new Tide Hygienic Clean Free. It goes deep into fabrics to remove the visible and invisible dirt.
And it's designed for sensitive skin. Hey, what's that?
It's gotta be Tide Hygienic Clean Free.
Yeah.
Ain't that about bullshit? Excuse me.
So when I saw this commercial, I was like, "Oh, this is what we're doing now." Okay. For our viewers, I want to know what you all thought of that commercial. But I immediately sent that to Elena because we had talked about here before about how the Black family isn't represented. And that commercial right there, So I wasn't sure if the women were homosexual or if they were just two friends, doing laundry. But the fact that we got two Black kids being raised by two white women is a big problem for me. I just don't understand why that commercial couldn't have been a Black mom and dad doing the laundry. So go ahead, Lana, because I know you got a lot to say about that one.
Yeah, I'm not saying nothing for about 5 minutes.
It was just icky, yo. It was icky. Like the whole comment about they have sensitive skin. You got the dirty Black kids who need their clothes. Well, and then I didn't even catch it the first time, but the chocolate cookies in the end, it just, oh my gosh. And the mischievous little Black kids who are playing and getting dirty, and these pristine, well-spoken, happy, cheery, perfectly poised white women. It just, man, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. The fact that it was two women, that bothered me less than the whole race thing. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling that new marketing deal.
A Black person watched that before they put it. A Black person, they couldn't have had their Black person on the team. Look at that. Look, if you could note to all companies, if you're going to make statements by, including people of color in situations that you are not familiar with, you should get somebody to watch it before you release it. Make sure you don't make a,
Yeah, it just, I was watching TV and I was like, oh, no, they didn't. Like, it just, I wonder where the kids are. And like, the little girl looked like she was biracial and the boy didn't. And I'm just like, what, we just grabbing some kids off the street and throwing them in a commercial here? It just felt like there was, I don't know. What's that? He said, oh, big home, forget the fire, send another flood.
Man, I want to see.
Yes, you're right, Darius. Cheerios has one. Yeah. I bet, Target did that over the holidays with the pajamas. There was like,
everybody was
okay, so
black male and a black woman and their kids.
Well, like the black woman, she didn't have a dad in the picture. It was the single mom, but the black woman, single mom with 2 kids. But in the white, for pajamas. But then with the white ones, it was a full family. Dad's in there, kids, and this, that, and the other. And it's just like, I don't know. Now Anna says when they can't have their own, they adopt. My male coworker did that with his husband. And it's like, so what, you can't find white kids to adopt? Why is it that and Les and I were talking about that. We were talking about, the savior complex. It's like they create such a harsh environment for blacks to be in. They take the male out of the home, and then people have to give their kids up. And then, they want to swoop in and adopt kids like their pets. That's just, that to me is just how I feel. And I'm unapologetic for saying that. So, that's, to me, that's the feeling that I get when I see stuff like that. Just like, Angelina Jolie, and, she's adopting all these black kids from different countries and this, I don't know. What, Les? I know you got something to say.
I look at it. I look at it from a couple of different angles, right? I think all kids should have a right to grow up in a happy, loving, kind environment.
Of course.
Right. So, not that I'm really interested. I'm not trying to offend anyone, and not that I'm trying to come across as though, I'm giving everybody the finger about what I'm going to say. But being a black male, I'm pretty sure that I'll put it like this. I had a older white man. He was real close. I mean, we was like this, and we were having lunch one day. We got some sushi. He was in DC, and we were having lunch, and 2 black gay guys came in, homosexual guys came in, and you knew they were homosexual. So I said to my man, I said, let me ask you a question. What do white men say when they see that type of behavior from black men? He said, don't ask me that question. Right? I got it. Because what is the first thing that we say as strong heterosexual males when we see 2 homosexual white guys come in and are flamboyant? What do we say?
I don't know. What do you say?
I can't.
I say that women don't act that way. That's what I say.
Well, we like, look at it now. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? This ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? As just seeing black kids being raised by white people with that agenda. You got a lot of white kids out here who need to be adopted as well.
Yeah.
And it's like they get skipped over and they go directly to the black kids. And they get the black kids.
So Darius says that trend goes even deeper. They aren't adopting kids in the system here. They are adopting black kids from abroad. big trend in the West. I actually had that conversation with the family, not out of disrespect, but I said there were several black kids in the system here. Why did you go to Kenya or Nigeria? It was a deep conversation.
Yeah. If you're doing it, listen, if you're doing it based on sincerity of heart and consciousness and that's a genuine desire, go for it. But Madonna going over getting those kids. And then when you get these males, you got them wearing dresses. You know, you don't know if they're male or female. You change their gender. And to me, you're treating them as though they're just one big ass experiment. You know, a rat in your lab. Circles around and around and around and around. And they go directly to the black kid. So Teresa said, why black families not adopting black kids? Hell, black people struggling their damn selves. You know?
My thing is
black children. And as a matter of fact, in the black community, if you couple adoption rates with children being raised by persons other than their parents, like family members, black people adopt more frequently.
It's hard enough being black
in birth,
but I can't imagine growing up in a white household. They can't answer a lot of the questions that kids are gonna have when they get older. Yeah. How can I sit down and have a conversation with you about being black and the things that I experience when you're not the same color? You don't have those same experiences as I do. Well,
I mean, but over a period of time, what's going to happen is that's going to become their norm. So then now when you grow up and you see your child putting raisins in a potato salad, then you're gonna know what's up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you understand what I'm saying? It's gonna be the norm. That's gonna be the norm. So what do you do when you got a sister, little young sister that has a mother and father who's black, who goes into the system and has that black hair, be it straight, kinky, thick, whatever you call it, and no one can address her hair issues, right? And they try, because listen, I was trying to do Leslie's hair. Trust me, many days she had to wear a hat, and then they get to the point, just wear your hair any way you want to. So as they grow up and get older, they're wearing their hair any type of way they want to. And it's like, yo, you going to cross a sister like God to and be like, you going to do something with your hair? You ain't going out with me in public looking like that. We over my hair.
Well, my uncle and his wife did adopt a child. They adopted a black child. My uncle happens to be black. His wife at the time was Caucasian. And I think there is a movement among some Caucasian people who are adopting black children to be really intentional about putting those children in an environment, making sure that those children's, did I just say children's? That's not what I meant to say. Good God. Those children are not in majority only environments, that they're around people who look like them and that they're really intentional in celebrating the culture for those children. It really is important, but I can definitely relate to the hair thing because, my uncle, he just had to say, let me just pay a hairdresser. So she's also my goddaughter. She was going to the hairdresser at like 4. His wife just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it,
Well, my cousin, she does hair. And I think she has a white coworker who has a black child. And she was like, I ain't even going to pretend. She told my cousin, she was like, look, I'm going to send her to you because I want her to have the braids and this, that, and all the stuff that she wanted. So she sought out someone who could handle. And then my cousin actually taught her about the different products, the type of hair she had, this, that, and other. So she was trying. And, I commended her for that. But Toriessa, I think that's how you say it. Teresa. She asked a question.
Teresa.
So that ain't how she in it. So if we are,
it's Teresa. I was playing. I thought it was Teresa. Trust me, they got on me the last time. After that, when I went over their house, I thought I was gonna have to fight her.
Okay. So she says, so if we're struggling, why are we mad at other cultures taking our kids?
I mean, it's we're looking at the intentionality behind it, you know? I mean, I'll put it to you like this. You know why Leslie ain't going. Stop playing. I'll be over there later. Okay. It's coming. She had to get it. I mean, it's like if we were to go out and adopt white kids, right? I'm pretty sure black. First of all, you ain't getting no white kids. You know what I'm saying? You know, black people.
That's what I'm saying. Will we even get them?
Black people look at us and be like, yo, you're so busy going out trying to adopt them. What about all these other black kids that's running around playing in your yard, you know, don't have no father, you know? How come you couldn't get them or don't have their mother? Why did you have to, you know, I think Judith says, before you go a yard before you go abroad. You know what I'm saying? You know, Judith, type it in, please. You know, charity starts at home and then it's spread abroad, from my understanding. But I don't think we're mad because black kids aren't being adopted by black people. It's just that, yo, you got 1,000 white kids that are in the system just as well as black kids that are in the system. But if you're going over to Kenya, who even say they was in the system? They could have been with their parents running around happy. The next thing you know, boom, you got white folks over there. Come on, you going back, Angelina Jolie, Madonna, you going back with me, right? And guess what happened? We were brought to America. Maybe it wasn't on a slave ship, but we were brought here.
So Teresa says, my cousin adopted 3 white kids and they are a married same-sex couple right from the agency. Okay.
Josephine Baker, that woman, she adopted tons of kids, and her goal was to create a mini United Nations. I think she had children from several different.
Wasn't she living over in France though? Wasn't it easier? You know, it was different there. It wasn't like it was here in the U.S. And I remember that she loved kids, and she's one of those ones like Les was saying. If you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart, you want to give kids a better life, go for it. Jermaine said, "Wait, who said we not adopting our children?" We was just making an observation. We are. Right. We are. What happened to Kyle? Maybe his computer was acting silly.
Kyle been
I mean, it's just another example of white supremacy and how they can be so ignorant as to the messages that they're showing, and they don't even have to care. You know, they just put it out there. They're not sensitive to what they're actually saying. I think Harvard did something similar to that last week. They sent out a press release and it basically said, I'm sure if you're Asian this week, you wish you weren't. Like,
damn.
I know, like, who okayed that? Who thought that?
Are you serious?
Yes. Like, just completely oblivious. No awareness whatsoever.
Well, why do they need to be aware? I mean, they control everything. So, I mean,
I have a book. I have a book. I'm gonna bring it. It's somewhere around here. And one of the campaign slogans says, "Don't let pregnancy interrupt your crack addiction." Don't let your pregnancy interrupt your crack addiction.
Exactly, Jermaine. They're not ignorant. They know exactly what they're doing on purpose. Exactly. Exactamundo. They know exactly what they're doing.
So is this a book for the book? Like, what exactly was it about? I'm confused.
I don't know.
Was that the name of the book?
No.
Oh.
It's one of my 800-page books.
Oh Lord.
You want to get it? I'll be right back.
Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties.
So you're right.
No worries. I get it. I get it. So how do you feel about that, Kyle?
With the commercial?
Yeah, just yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of par for the course. Like y'all were saying, the whole savior mentality. I try to put it, if you mix the races up and you had 2 black parents and 2 white kids, what would I think? And I was like, oh, I have never seen that before. I think it'd be more of a rarity. So I don't know. I guess the reason why they did it and what's the point they're trying to get across is probably, what I'm thinking more about than buying Tide.
The Cultural Matrix.
Yeah, basically.
That's the name of the book.
The book.
Like a textbook for a class, man. Good gosh.
Understand Black youth.
Mm. Yeah, well. Mm-hmm. So I know Jermaine gonna hop on this. I'm about to switch subjects. I'm about to go to Jim Crow 2.0.
Is that an invitation? Him to comment?
I think it sounded like a challenge to me.
So I want to show this. So this is Governor Kemp with his little white man around signing into law the new Georgia voter law. But look at the picture behind him. So he signs into law with all these white men around under the picture of a famous plantation in Georgia. And I was like, if that is not, that ain't a dog whistle. That's just, we here. Yeah. So I've been listening to a lot about the new Georgia law. So here are 5 key points, to take away from it. One of the main things is that they stopped early voting on Sundays, and that goes to the group Souls to the Polls, which was created by a Black reverend in Georgia. So they would take people, for early voting after church on Sundays. Well, now you can't vote on Sundays anymore, with early voting. And the other thing is it's a misdemeanor, which is a crime, to give anyone in line water or snacks waiting, if they're waiting to vote. And the drop boxes, there are going to be a lot less of those. They're going to actually put those inside of early voting places now. So that all of this because our voices were heard, and they were heard loudly. And I like what Biden said. He said, well, what I don't understand is those same laws, right? Those same laws which were in place in 2016, it was fine then. So what happened between 2016 and 2020 that they feel they needed to change anything? And it goes back to the big lie. It goes back to the fact that we spoke up. There's power in numbers. For the first time, Black folks handed them, I won't say for the first time, but Black folks handed them their ass, and they didn't like it. So they figured, you know what? We'll just go back to what we were doing, what we did in the past. We'll just make it harder for them.
White men never respond well to being challenged.
They don't. They don't. They don't. When you challenge their authority, hence, people being shot in the streets, pull a phone out to record, you might get shot. Challenging their authority. What? Go ahead.
Lanny, say that again.
I just said that white men. What did I say?
White men don't like to be challenged.
Something like that. That sounds right.
So, with that statement that you made, do conscious black women marry white men knowing that they don't like to be challenged?
Ouch, Les.
Or do they take on a subservient role when it comes down to marrying white men? And I'm not, and maybe that's not for you. Maybe that's not for you to answer, right? But if you are a conscious woman, black woman, and you're interacting with a white male who doesn't like to be challenged, how does that work?
Works very carefully. I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know. I do think that it's a very rare situation and case where you will see, and I could be wrong, but whatever, an interracial relationship where the black woman is earning more or wields more power than the white man. I think that is definitely going to be an anomaly. So,
okay. When you said that, it kind of triggered something.
By nature, you kind of sets up the relationship so that you can be challenged. I mean, you can try, but in his mind, there are no grounds for you challenging me.
Because I see a lot of conscious sisters that who look conscious, who are married to white men. Case in point, Kamala Harris.
Nobody ever accused Kamala Harris of being conscious, but okay.
You know what? I'm glad you said it because I agree with you.
Do you have any other examples, though?
I mean, I see a lot of sisters and I'm saying that everybody wear dreadlocks is conscious, but I see a lot of sisters who wear dreadlocks, are like really marrying white dudes now.
You said you see what? A lot of what?
Sisters with dread, a lot of conscious sisters marrying white guys.
All right,
black men are not checking for me these days. The last guy that hollered at me was Chinese. So
coronavirus, this shit is real. Coronavirus, this shit
Shut
is
up. Shut up.
If I end up with a white man, it's I don't know.
I mean, but you just said, so are you going to challenge him?
I mean, I think I would challenge anybody that I'm with. Not, I'm not overbearing, but I think in a healthy relationship, people challenge one another to be their best selves. That's all. I think that's always the goal with challenges.
The way I took it,
some healthy competition. Not competition, but some healthy
banter.
Yeah,
I mean, hopefully,
it's nothing wrong with pushing your mate to be a better them. Which if it's a better them, then it's going to be a better y'all or a better us. However you want to coin that. So I know my boyfriend. He pushes me to be the best me that I can be, and I push him, and that makes our relationship, the best that it can be.
If I end up with a white man, I'll let you know. You know, if I've lost all my consciousness, I'm going over to the dark side and the light side. I don't know.
So Les, you gonna send me the thing so we can let our viewers know?
Yeah, I'm tripping. I gotta text it to you, Nikki.
Oh, jeez, oh whiz. Did you text it to me last time?
I could have.
So Kyle had to cut out. He was having issues with his computer, so he's No, you didn't text it to me last time.
I'm going to give it to you now. My computer's tripping.
Well, y'all
So Diana says, I definitely like to hear folks' input on that question, Les.
Yeah, me too.
Which one?
Do conscious black women marry white men knowing, based on your statement, Elena, that they don't like to be challenged?
Good question, y'all. What are y'all thoughts? I want to know. I want to hear. Inquiring minds want to know.
Right.
Okay, Les, it's done.
Okay. I don't know what's going on with my computer.
It's quiet. Ain't nobody got nothing to say? I want to know what y'all. Maybe they typing. Maybe
they scared to touch this.
They might be. You know, we talk about stuff that a lot of people don't want to hear. But it's stuff that, you know, is in, you know, it's in the black community. So nobody saying nothing?
I mean, look, it's layered, you know?
Okay, so Diana says, because my thought is that they don't go into that relationship knowing that, since folks aren't always upfront of who they are. Okay. I can agree with that.
The recent social tensions studies have shown that a lot of interracial relationships have not been able to hold up because different parties have had to dig a little deeper, you know, and where they may have walked together on some of the surface things, when they dug deeper, you know, more was revealed, and, you know, they couldn't stay together. So
I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about raising, you know, black kids. If you're in an interracial relationship, let's say that you're a black man, you're dating a white woman, and you get harassed by the cops. How does that conversation go when you get home? Can she be sympathetic? Can she be understanding? I'm not knocking interracial relationships at all. But these are some of the things with the state that we're in right now, that the black society is in right now. Like, does she just say shake it off, or this was a one-time thing? You know, because a lot of white people, when they found out the talk that parents have with their black kids about, especially their sons, about interacting with the police, you know, what you do, how you act, how you know, you keep your credentials in a Ziploc bag. You know, you keep your hands 10 and 2. Yes, sir. No, sir. You know what I'm saying? Like, white folks don't have to do that. They don't have to have that kind of talk with their kids before they leave the house. But blacks do. So if you are a white family raising black kids, do you have this talk? Do you even know about the talk? You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot to being black.
Yeah. I have a client who I tutor, and his mother's white and the father's black. And, she said to me, she's like, yo, I have a black son. So we really got to start having these conversations.
You have to. They're not going to be the most comfortable conversations, but they're necessary conversations. They are necessary conversations. Like in the movie American Skin, the talk, that the father told the son one thing and he tried to apply that to the police, and he was like, no, everything I taught you, that goes out the window when you're talking to the cops. And the son was like, I don't understand, but you taught me this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. He was like, no, when it comes to the cops, it's different. It's A, B, C, and D. So, that's a lot. That's a lot. What you looking for, Les? I know you're looking for something to read.
I'm looking for my virginity.
Oh my gosh.
You're like finding it, bro.
I'm getting ready to say. Let me know how that work out for you, okay? We need to have a seance for that. So Judith says, is it all white men or all men don't like to?
Watch your tone. Watch your tone. Watch it. Don't get what they call up. It's white men. We're not talking about black. Black men don't have a problem with being challenged.
They don't?
That was a joke.
Okay, I was getting ready to say.
Of course we do. You know what I'm saying? Look.
Hey, yo, we got a special guest. Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's good?
Welcome back.
How y'all doing today?
Excited to have you on the show because I want to hear what you got today.
Okay.
Awesome.
So we about to be blessed again, y'all. Chris is back, and I think he's going to do another poem for us. So whenever you're ready, kick it.
All right, so this one is called Compelled.
Compel or compelled?
Compelled.
Okay, compelled. Okay.
Control parameters they can't see. What they consider freedom doesn't correspond with being free. Visions of a powerful man, me, taking a breath in order to excel prosperity. I exert it all as it comes to this service. Perfect the cause as I promise to serve us. Even if we're flawed, perfection deserves us. No remorse, they know exactly what they do. No coincidence, it was all intentional. Stripped of everything, still remain a factor. Replenish what they took so we become benefactors. Organize, build, prepare, invest. But the majority are told to take it how it is and hope for the best. Are you a forerunner or do you follow the lead? Don't give effort to beg or to plead. Take actions to fulfill your creed. And if you aren't given what you desire, go create that need. New beginnings with new relief. By no means is this journey brief. A multi-generational expedition paved with homage and belief, given daily to gain what our ancestry reached. Forward momentum with reflections of the past. This time around, we formulate the difference so forever it will last. Reclaim control because life grants permission. The child who envisions the mission of building their own commission due to pain and recollection will bring forth precision. This is for lineage, love, and all proceedings. Don't think we forgot, nor will we forgive you for your doctrine or your teachings. Got to get them to start treading on the surface, innocent to dwell in the depths of their minds, their own spirit and purpose. If I stand alone, so be it. But I know there are others who not only sense this frequency, they too have a vision desiring to be it. If that's you, make it happen and see the whole things through. And hopefully this poem compelled you.
Love it. Love it. I can't wait for your book to come out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
again, I appreciate another opportunity to be able to showcase what I'm working on and what I got coming. So again, thank you.
Oh, listen, you need a platform. This is it, bro. Whenever you want to come on, just let us know. That was awesome. That was awesome. So what is I guess what is some of your inspiration behind your poetry?
Me?
Your spoken word. Shut up, Les.
A lot of it has to deal with progression. I mean, I think we all as the black community, as the black population, we all are striving for something. And of course the elders, those who've been around and been there, done that, you know, as far as the wisdom, you know, trying to understand that you got your own path, but also trying to pay that homage. So essentially everything I see, everything I live, you know, as far as paying homage to the past, as far as everything that was laid and paid for us, I just want to repay that homage and give it back, understanding that, you know, that I too am trying to do what's necessary based off my gifts and attributes.
So after George Floyd was killed, did you write a poem about that?
When I experienced seeing George Floyd and his situation, the only thing I do is look at my son. So in retrospect of not only witnessing that, but understanding that I'm a black man and that I have other male black men in my family and, you know, those who are close to me, it's every day when I think about it, literally every day. So I got pieces definitely are going to be contributed to George Floyd and all the black men out here who definitely, you know, for some of us who still trying to figure it out, but those who got it and who on their stuff too, you know, I got something for everybody.
Awesome. Awesome. So you said May, right, for the book?
Yes, ma'am. May.
Yeah, okay. I'm excited. I need April to hurry up and get on by. So, I'm a huge fan of poetry and spoken word, and can definitely relate to your work. So it's beautiful work. So just definitely keep it up. Definitely keep it up. Like when I hear you speak, it reminds me of Def Poetry Jam. I mean, I wish that they still had that, because you need to be on that. You definitely need to be a contender on that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and I appreciate, you know, everything. I'm taking it all in. Not trying to be big headed, but definitely trying to take this information, that feedback, and turning this into something. So appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And maybe in 2024, you could read at the inauguration, like Amanda Gorham did.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
I was putting that in the universe. I'm putting that in the universe.
Hey, I ain't knocking
it. Thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to say?
In the midst of myself, C.O. Horton, and you can definitely find me on IG, C.L.Horton. Also follow Compelled Concepts. That's my second half. That's my other platform that I'm pushing. In the midst of my Imperial Pledge, which is my poetry book, I'm also going to push another book, and I'm not going to put the title out for that book, but it's under Compelled Concepts. So I got a lot of content coming in the works. So I just say, look out for it. Look out.
Awesome. Well, we can actually say that we knew you when, because I feel like you're gonna blow up. So you've always got a platform and space, you know, at Black Spasms. So just thank you. And Les, thank you for introducing us to Chris and bringing him on the show. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Finger snaps all around. Let me how's Elena do it? There you go. Awesome.
All right, y'all enjoy y'all day. Again, I appreciate y'all having me on. Got to tend to, you know, what I've been tending to before I got on here. So again, I just appreciate you allowing me to get away from that and be able to show my true passion. So thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Have a good one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Peace to y'all. Until
Bye-bye.
next time.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, we need that. I think we should have had. Well, he wasn't available. We should have had that after the first one, But we moved directly into it. I like topics like this because, Jermaine and I was talking earlier this week, and he's like, my job is not to teach or educate anyone; is to activate. And I think that this is what we're doing. We're getting people to think, to activate their consciousness, to think about things from a different perspective, to heal, thanks to you, Nikki. You know what I'm saying? Putting yourself out there first, and getting, and that was a private victory and made public. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can take that and just run with it. Gil Scott Heron, we talked about his birthday. There was one of his songs that he did is called The Other Side, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And he said, home is where the hatred is. Home is filled with tears, but it might not be such a bad idea if I never go home again. Home is where I live inside my white powder dreams. Home was once an empty vacuum that's filled up with my silent screams. Home is where the needle mark tried to heal my broken heart, but it might not be such a bad idea if I never go home again. And he was saying how people were telling him that he can kick it and quit it. But he was basically saying to them, if you've never done this, if you've never been addicted, it's not that easy to kick it and quit it. So when you're I made the mistake of saying to my cousin one time, she was going through some things. I guess she broke up with her boyfriend. I'm like, oh, you'll be all right. You'll get over it. And she's like, don't do that. Don't dismiss me like that. Or don't dismiss this situation like that. And 2 words that I don't like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I hate that, right? Because you're being dismissive, number 1, and get over it. 2 things I don't say. Too. Get over it. I lost my train of thought. I'm all over the place. But, everybody's going through something. Everybody's dealing with something. And I guess if we take the perspective of when you meet someone, think maybe this person is going through something right now. They don't need my extra shit on them. One thing that I don't like rude. I don't like to see people being rude to the wait staff, janitors, custodians, anyone that's cleaning up, anyone that's waiting on you.
And
service. I hate that. Mm-hmm. You never know what a person is going through. It doesn't take much to say please and thank you, or I'll wait. I'm patient. And I've always said that there are a couple of jobs that I think everybody should work. Number 1, fast food. Number 2, retail. Number 3, be a custodian and have to clean up the bathroom after someone just left out of there with diarrhea. Okay? And then your perspective on everything changes. Or let's take my perspective. Losing a twin sister to brain cancer at the age of 48, not making it to her 49th birthday, and me spending my 49th birthday at a gravesite. See, my perspective has changed on a lot of things. And when you understand the backstory, you realize there's a lot of things I don't take serious. Bad attitudes, your fucked up isms, your shit that you bring to the table that's unnecessary. So everybody's dealing with something. And that's why, when I meet people, I'm either going to try to enhance, empower, grow, and nurture, or activate their consciousness, but if I can't help you, I'm not going to mess with you. The saying goes like this: leave it better than you found it. Leave a person better than you found them. And if you don't have anything nice to say to anyone, don't say shit at all. Shut the fuck up. Point blank. That's my soapbox. You have good info. And on that note, you know what I'm saying? I gotta add humor. Humor, right. It's like humor is that sweet piece of candy or dessert that people have to have after they eat dinner. That means you have some type of deficiency too. But yeah, I mean, we got to start dealing with each other from a different perspective. You know, we got to
time is free.
Right. We got to stop buck breaking each other. We do. With our words, with our actions, and with our deeds. Right? If you go back and read The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman and The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man, some people are going to get offended, get pissed off. One thing that she said, and I tell the brothers all the time, I said, brother, if you're with a woman and she can't get with your program, get rid of her, get a woman who can get with your program. Sisters, I tell you the same thing. If you're with a brother and he don't want to work with your program, get rid of him and find another brother that will work with your program and in your program. But we don't need to be in relationships fucking each other over because of our bitterness and unhappiness and shit that we haven't dealt with. Suppressive, harmful, intrusive thoughts. You know, go. You know what? And I'm gonna start using your saying, Nikki. So go unpack your shit. Go unpack your shit. Wash it, not with Tide. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Fold that shit up. No, don't even fold it up. Hang that shit out to dry. Let it air dry like we used to do back in the day with the line, right? And then have to fold it immediately. You know, so and let nature give you the fabric softener that you get from the store. Hang your shit up, let it air out, fold it, compartmentalize it, put it where it's supposed to be, and when you're ready to go on the trip, pack that shit up and go enjoy yourself and have a good fucking time. In the meantime, in between time, you ain't got to shut the fuck up, but you got to be the fuck quiet. That was personal. You know, that was personal.
You got anything to add to that, Elena?
Nope.
Yeah, y'all can hit my Cash App if you want. You know, that's the new thing now. My Cash App is.
Yeah, we do have to be better to each other and check on people. You know, I have a saying: give people their flowers while they're here. Don't wait till they're gone. You know, we need to celebrate each other while we can. You know, I had somebody hit me up today just to say that they love me just because I was online. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. Just because, you know, with everything that's going on, people dying, you know, they were just like, you know what? I saw you on. I just wanted to say I love you. Have a good day. That's a good thing, you know. And I tell, you know, my friends and my family. My boyfriend got me doing this before I hang up to tell them that I love them, because you never know when it's, you know, the last time you're gonna talk to somebody. So I do that often now, and I think that's something that we, you know, should all practice. Celebrating people while they're here. You know, it ain't gotta be nothing big. Just, you know, just call on people, check on them, especially with the pandemic and mental health being, you know, what it is, and suicides being way up right now. Like you said, Les, you never know what people are going through. You know, it's just.
Has anyone ever read the poem Desiderata by Max Ehrman? Desiderata.
What's that?
Desiderata by Max Ehrman. I think that's something that everyone needs to read, and that needs to be in their library.
Okay. Is it a long poem?
No, I can read it right quick, and it's something that if you embrace it,
okay,
right? Embrace it. I'll read it right quick. It won't take but a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up now. And when you start finding different things that will help you out to get you to navigate through all of this stuff that we're going through called life.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's dealing with something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull it up now.
Okay.
I have it. I don't feel like getting up. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself to others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in hidden misfortunes, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have the right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt, the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham drudgery and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful, strive to be happy. Max Ehrman. You know,
I like the part where he says you have the right to be here.
you have a right to be here, which speaks to your root chakra. You have a right to be here. And most of us have been affected by our root chakra at the base of who we were. We were damaged or destroyed or hindered or broken. And therefore, we're spending the majority of our time trying to get back to healing personally, that root chakra.
Mm-hmm. So everybody, if there is a topic that you would like us to discuss, put it in the comments. We're always open to discussing different things, here at Black Spasms, the pain and discomfort associated with being Black in America. Something that's that you want to know more about, or something that you feel like, isn't discussed enough. Let us know. 'Cause we're open to different topics and different ideas, and it could be something that we've not thought about. So yeah, I'd like to hear what some of you would like to discuss, because as you can see, this isn't just about this panel, it's about you guys too, which is why we like the interaction, we like when you comment, so we like the questions, we like the comments, the way you guys think. Really appreciate that. So if there's something topic wise that you guys want to discuss, throw it in the comments, or DM me, DM Les, Elena, and any of us, or put it on the Black Spasms Facebook page. I'm really interested to hear what some people want to discuss. So, and I want to thank everybody for allowing me to share my truth today. Thank you all for being understanding and supportive. That means a lot. Thank you for your kind words, your care and your concern. Thank you for allowing me to share. So that means a lot. Appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you for trusting us enough to share.
Got to share. This is a safe space, y'all. There is no judgment here. So we've had some, some of our viewers share some interpersonal things, in the comments, and we really appreciate that. So this is definitely a safe space.
Yeah. Everybody dealing with something.
Oh yeah, we're all dealing with something. Just and you feeling better, Elena? Did that energy go away?
For the most part, yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
I get it.
I gotta shake that kind of stuff. Look. Yeah, my own stuff.
Yeah, it's rough sometimes.
Somebody needed to. I think a lot of somebodies, but somebody very specifically needed to hear that today.
Yep, and
later, they may check it. Somebody just might slide through the podcast one day, and it just may hit them.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So yep, I share when I moved to share. So, and I was moved to share today. So, don't know who needed to hear it or who it was for, but I hope that you can take something from it, learn something from it. We can't keep stuff bottled up, because like I said, it manifests itself in all kinds of ways. It's gonna come out. That's just how the body is built. So the brain can't handle that kind of trauma, and it stay inside. It's too much. Too much. It's a lot. It's a lot. Y'all ain't got nothing y'all want to talk about? Or maybe they thinking y'all.
I mean, anybody watch the show today?
Mm-hmm.
We have viewership?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's people still watching now.
Maybe it's a little too deep. You want to go into letterology? Anybody want the letter number?
Hey, anybody want their name read today? That was the other thing, letterology. Anybody want did I say it right?
Letterology, yeah. I'm a letterologist. You see my name, right?
Okay, letterologist.
If nobody steps up, you can do me today.
Okay. Oh man, Elena. Double A, triple A, right?
Wait a minute, triple A, double N.
Whole lot of energy going on over here.
Whole lot. It's gonna take a and when I say strong, I don't mean abusive or dominating brother. Some women like, I need a strong man, one who can take charge and grab me by my neck and kick me in my ass when I get out of line. It's like, no, he's trying to get abused. Ain't nobody trying to do that.
First snorted today.
Yeah,
that sounds like abuse.
But keep in mind, what are we talking about? A lot of our point of origin comes from abuse.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Butt breaking. I mean, and even the word flogging, which is a term that's still used today. Most people like to be spanked and whipped during sex. And is it the necessary act, or is it the intent behind the act? So when I say Elena that Elena is very strong, and the type of person that she would need to be in a relationship is one that is actually strong themselves, not abusive, because you don't have to be abusive to be strong. And everyone that's abusive is not strong. I look at abusive people as being very weak.
And cowards.
Very much so, because I'm like this, if you want to beat me, go beat yourself first. You know what I'm saying? If you can beat yourself and survive, then come back over here. But, as a matter of fact, go beat your meat. Anywho, so you know, if you want to beat something, but go, but you know, and beat it with a hammer. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I'm an empath as well. So I don't take a lot of pleasure into inflicting pain on people. You know, even in my dreams, it's hard for me to fight. Right? I've only had, since my sister's death, you know, I've been fighting more in my dreams. You know.
Check out episode Small Acts.
Okay, so Amazon Prime. Okay. Just talking about the other day. So yeah, so you know, as being an empath, you know, we don't necessarily want to be around loud, aggressive, abusive type people. You know, you can, like they say, a word to the wise is sufficient. You don't have to speak volumes. You know, say it one time and say it clear and have intent and purpose behind what you're saying. So with Elena has 3 A's. Anytime you have 3 letters, 3 of the same letters, it points to a selfishness, right? What's saving or enhancing Elena as a person and in her relationships is the fact that she's an empath, she's conscious, and she's aware. So you won't see any of that you won't see a lot of that selfish behavior come out of her. Because she has 3 A's, which means that if she's not operating from a righteous perspective, she can be a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just straight up. I mean, and guess what? Me knowing the energy, I can say, why you being a, never mind, I understand. You know, it's just energy. You know, I get it, you know. Well, so when you add up the 3 A's, it comes, but the crazy thing about it is Elena has A's in very key positions of her name. The first letter, A, which speaks to her leadership, very direct. The third letter, which is an A in the third position, is a communication. So her communication is very direct. What wins her over is that, and it's also a blessing and a curse, is that her communication is not detrimental, but it is calculated. So unlike me, I'll tell you shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? She will say, well, I mean, we may not have to say it like that, but we can say it in such a way. And sometimes saying it in a way that is soft baffles people. So when Elena's saying things, if she's not coming out and being very disrespectful, the softer she says it, because people are so on guard, that hurts them more. If they can accept you telling them to shut the fuck up quicker than they can say, listen, you know, you can refrain from communicating with me on this level at this time. Me being your supervisor, you know, we don't communicate like that. And in doing so, people get offended. Okay. Then she has another A, which is in the last letter of her name, which is in the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6th position. So that means when you're dealing with 6 deals with business and family and duties and orders and responsibilities, she's on point with that. So you can't come to the table BSing. And if she's in a supervisory position, it's going to be some accountability on the front end in terms of leadership. And the 3rd position, which is communication, because she's going to communicate very clear and concise. And then the last letter, which is, let's get this job done and let's get it done right, right? But what you're going to get from Elena is, and what's important to give to her if you're interested in being in a relationship with her, is great communication, strong communication. And the reason why I say that is because the communication vibe is the letter 3. Now she has 3 A's, which comes to number 3 emotionally. But emotionally, a good conversation, will, you know, you can get in the pants if you want to. Hey, baby, what's going on? What's going on today? You know what I'm saying? Type shit. You know what I'm saying? You know,
it takes a little more than that, Les. I mean,
you got to get past those 3 A's first. You know what I'm saying? You know, but then she has the L in the 2nd position, which means that not only does she have the letter, but she also has the number, right? But here's a challenge with Elena and the L's. L people attract crazy people.
Oh Lord God, no!
All the time. So I got 2 L's in my name. Everybody I meet is a nut, including, you know. But just because we are attracted doesn't mean that we have to accept it. You know, somebody throw a ball at you, you ain't got to catch every ball that's thrown at you.
Absolutely.
So then you have the communication emotionally, how she feels. She has a strong communication vibe in the second position of her name. So once again, the 2 energy is closeness and cooperation. So her communication is very warm. There are times in which I'm pissed off. I'm like, I'm not calling her today. You know what I'm saying? Because she ain't gonna be like, yeah. She's gonna be like, well, maybe if you're like, I ain't trying to hit this shit from you. You know what I'm saying? I called you to be a hype person. I didn't call you for a damn reason. You know what I'm saying? You know? So then you have I said that wrong. Here we go. No, I did it right. So she has a 3 energy, Elena, and she has 2 5s.
Are the ends the 5s?
Ends are the 5. Ends are the 14th letter of the alphabet, which comes to a 5 energy. So you add up the 3 and the 2 A's, it comes to a 4 energy logically. So she's thinking structure, organization, making sure things are done the correct way, right? When you add those 2 together, you're going to get a 7 energy, which is that analytical side of it, right? And keep in mind, analytical people, the numbers, the letters G, P, and Y, they're not looking at you, they're looking into you. You know, how you look at people and they're just staring at you, which has been a critique that Black people have used in the white community. It's like you go somewhere and you see white people just staring at you, go to the bookstore and read an interesting book, and you look up and you'll see like white people like really looking at like, what are you reading? And it's like, yo, what are you looking at? Black people are a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? Because we're looking more into, not looking at. And when you're dealing with someone that's looking into, and they have that 7 energy like Elena does, what's happening is it causes a lot of trouble, because people always feel as though they're being analyzed and scrutinized. So what you're doing is with the L, the attraction of the crazy people, you're really, then it's like you attract me, I'm crazy, now you analyze me at the same time. So you're going to deal with nuts all the way around, as a humanitarian, as an empath, because I don't think you can separate the 2. What happens is when humanitarians and empaths learn how to get away from crazy people and take a break, and it's okay to say, listen, what you're doing right now doesn't serve me or my interests. I'm not in agreement with it. And a lot of times empaths have a hard time in saying no. No. So I have a remedy for that. It's called French colloquialism.
Who?
French colloquialism, French slang, French ebonics. It's called EPON, E-P-O-N. Somebody asks you something, is nope spelled backwards. You know what I'm saying? By the time they figure it out, they don't need you no more. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever works for you. EPON. Can I borrow $30? EPON. You take it as a yes. They start, well, I'm gonna meet you in this corner. Okay. Let's do that. And when they get there and realize you ain't showing up, I said EPON. What is that? Nope, spelled backwards. That's how we get out of doing things a lot of times if we don't have the courage to say no. So with 7 energy people, analytical, that's that desire to dig deep. And that's another thing. Your psychologist comes. A lot of your psychologists have 7 energies because they want to dig deep. So what do you think about that? What's going on with you here? And why did that happen? And, what made you say that? And it's like, God damn, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. I'm not trying to be analyzed, And that's what 7 energy people have to realize. Leave that shit in the office. When you get around your friends, you sitting at the bar having a drink and they say, so, tell me why your mother beat you with the extension cord last night. You're like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? I just came to have a drink. I didn't come for you to dig into my shit like that. If that makes any sense. So, and that's Elena. And then even with her middle name, she's attracting a lot of people because I was talking to Jermaine earlier, and we were talking about words, and we were talking about spelling, spells, spelling, putting spells on you. You know, what's her name? Nina Simone. I put a spell on you.
Yeah.
You know, mine. You know, so our words. You know, and when you don't know the etymology of a word, we was talking about the word ignorant a couple of shows ago. Ignorant, and they not ignorant, nice.
Yeah.
Black people are nice people. You know what I'm saying? So next time you're around corporate white people, they say, "Oh, you're a really nice person." You know what I'm saying? Nice means ignorant, passive, dumb, right? And these are the words that we're putting these spells on each other. With Elena's energy, because she communicates from a consciousness, you know, wanting to always enhance, empower, grow, and nurture, or as Nikki would say,
Jean,
which is the feminine way of saying it. I'm not Jean to nobody. Jean is a boy's name. Anywho, you know, but with Elena's energy and her communication, she's putting spells on people. It's like calming, soothing the wild beast, or playing jazz in the hood, or classical music outside of the store. You know, it just pushes that negative energy away. But when we're dealing with such.
Okay.
Anywho,
he's crazy.
hey, watch this. She's getting cussed out after this. I'm letting y'all know right now. She's getting cussed out after this. So
now, cousins.
She getting it. But you know, so we're putting these spells on people. So what happens if you're not conscious in the words that you say? Fuck you, bitch, motherfucker. You bipolar motherfucker. Listen to the spells that we're casting on one another. You know, spelling. Yeah, spelling. So with Elena's energy, but it's a blessing and a curse, because even when she's talking consciousness to people, you know, it sometimes either goes over their head, but it's like a heroin shot. And we was talking about Lady Day's movie the other day, you know, that first hit. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always thought that you was always catching or trying to chase the first high that you felt. But from understanding, it's not like that. Was that you I was talking to?
Yeah. We're talking about how Andra Day had in-depth conversations with a heroin addict in preparation for the role. Yeah.
And it's
yeah, he said you're not chasing the first high, you're trying to stay well and stave off the sickness.
Damn. It's like when the cure is worse than the disease itself.
Sound like Trump.
Yeah. So with Elena and myself, it's like, even though you're saying things, it's like we're hitting people with words, and it's like being soft in how you talk to them. And it's like the more sincere you are, the crazier they become. So in essence, they're trying to force you to communicate with them on their level. But what they understand, that's not what we do, you know? So if we do that, we create even more of a monster, because we got to keep doing that just to keep the beast in them calm. And what happens to us, it has an adverse and negative effect on who we are as a person. And then guess what we become? We become rapists.
Oh, Lord.
We become all of that, because now we're operating from a perspective or energy that was never ours. We was just doing that to keep that energy away from us. So the best thing to do, you know, is walk away. It's like someone breaks into your house and you shoot them just to protect your kids, right? Next thing you know, shit, you gotta have it. You shooting up everybody. Mailman comes in the house, boom, and shit. You know, Jehovah's Witness come. Are you prepared for boom? You know what I'm saying? Everybody getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? you know. So I'm, you know, and I use humor when I say it, but it's because it's some deep shit. We're like in a catch-22 with this thing, right? You know, as Gil Scott-Heron says, like, yo, I thought I was watching TV, but come to find out the TV was watching me.
Yeah.
Now they got TVs watching us. Now, or has it always been the case?
Right.
So, you know, the good that we are attempting to do, right, and trying to calm people down, it ain't working. And I'm gonna say this: go back to Coming to America, the first one, right? Remember when they was in McDowell's,
Mm-hmm.
and Samuel Jackson, you know, comes in with the shotgun and he wants to hold the place up, right? Did you see how he was disarmed? You know, by calm, soothing words. You know,
who the fuck are you?
But Eddie in that role was able to maintain who he was throughout, even at the point where he got rejected, right? Because of a misunderstanding. He stayed true to himself. He stayed true to character throughout the whole time. And that's what we need to do. Understand our energy, understand these letters, and stay true to ourselves. Because the minute we stop being true to ourselves, we become enslaved by other people's emotions, their hangups, their PTSD. And guess what? The majority of that shit didn't even come from them. It came from somebody else.
Awesome. It's a heck of a reading.
Oh, that right. Is there a silver lining in my reading?
I mean, the silver lining is you are who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be nobody but you. Nobody can be you but you. You know what I'm saying? And
my hashtag is unapologetically me.
Be who you are. And so it's not any bad liners. You just know your energy. This is who you are, right? And I'm letting you know up front. I mean you no harm. I come in peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm Mork and Mindy. Nanu. You know what I'm saying? That's it, you know. But no, I mean the good thing is you communicate.
No, that was Star Trek, wasn't it?
No. Nanu. Mork and Mindy.
Oh, but this was Star Trek. The Vulcans.
Okay, I got you. Or West Side. But no, you know, Elena, you're communicative, you're expressive, you're about business. You know what I'm saying? The 3 energy have an above average intelligence. You know, and that's dangerous too with people with above average intelligence, because when you take someone with an above average intelligence and you couple that with consciousness, it's dangerous. There's a potential that you may live by yourself for the rest of your life. Why? Because a lot of cats aren't conscious enough to check for a sister like you. You damn near got to be a free spirit to jump in there, you know. But like a moth to a flame burnt by the fire, you know. They coming in thinking they're going to devour you, and they get devoured. When a hunter gets captured by the game, you know. But that's your energy. You got a problem with that? Take it up with your creator. Look here, Slim. This shit.
Well, I'm gonna talk to you after this. How about that? You have to tell me some more about some of the stuff you said in the middle.
Oh man, see, I forgot. I taught you everything you know, not everything I know.
It's cool. Thanks. I appreciate it.
No, it is.
And on that note, folks, we're going to go ahead and end.
Yeah.
I'm kind of emotionally drained today.
Yeah. This energy drained everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, we said it was going to be a kind of a heavy graphic show, so and it was. But you know, it's conversations that need to be had. So you know, a lot of these conversations that we have aren't easy. But like I said, they aren't easy, but they're necessary.
Yeah.
So on that note, folks, we hope that you all have a wonderful, awesome weekend. Happy Easter to everybody. And we will be back next Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And until then, y'all stay safe.
Oh.
What?
All this shit started from slavery too.
But of course it did. Right. All right. Peace out, y'all.